हेलो कोमल एंड अजीत, और लोग आ रहे हैं कि नहीं?
सर अभी आशीष आ जाएगा कुछ टाइम पे।
तो शुड बी स्टार्ट, और क्योंकि आज आज एक 11:15 पे मीटिंग भी है एक्चुअली।
हाँ सर, आप स्टार्ट कर लीजिए फिर।
ओके ओके। ओके, so today I think we are going to do an interesting concept known as Chinese remainder theorem. I think some of you might have studied it earlier, but I am just recalling. If M1, M2, MT are pairwise co-prime, you know, pairwise co-prime, that means GCD of Mi comma Mj is 1. Suppose these are the integers where of course I is not equal to j. Now let a1, a2, at are arbitrary integers. Okay, such that x is congruent to a1 mod m1, x is congruent to a2 mod m2, and so on. X is congruent to at mod mt. Then these equations are simultaneously solvable. That means there is a common x which satisfies all the equations, right? And the solution is unique. Is unique mod partial product I is equal to 1 to t mi. So I think there is a constructive proof. I just briefly mention it. So suppose small m is the product of mi's. Okay, from I is equal to 1 to t, and suppose ni is equal to, okay, uh, capital M divided by mi. 1 less than equal to I less than equal to t. So compute ui such that, so small ni is capital M divided by small mi, right? So that means actually this is not capital M but this is small m. I'm sorry. Yeah. Compute UI such that UI ni congruent to 1 mod mi. Okay, now ni is nothing but partial product of mj. J is equal to 1 to t and j is not equal to I, right? The ith component is missing because that will, mi will cancel actually. Now ni is co-prime to mi. Okay, so inverse exists and the solution turns out to be x is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to t ui ni ai. That is how we get the solution. Okay, so let me show you an example how we apply, and actually we will use this technique later on, the Chinese remainder theorem. Let us take an example. X congruent to 5 mod 7, x congruent to 3 mod 11, and x congruent to 2 mod 13. Can you try to solve it and tell me what is the solution? I just want you to try first. So I can just, for the hint, I can write it down that M1 is 7, M2 is 11, and M3 is 13. A1 is 5, A2 is 3, and A3 is 2, right? So your M, which is the product of MIs, is nothing but M1, M2, M3, and the product I can write it down is 1001. So N1 is 143, N2 is 91, N3 is 77, right? Now, can you do the calculations? Yes, any progress? So now what we need to do? So N1, N2, N3 is known, small m is known. I need to find out, if you look at the construction here, I need to compute ui's. For each ni, I have to find the inverse of it, right? Modulo mi. So I have to find u1, u2, u3. So u1 will be 143 inverse, which is nothing but 3 inverse, which is the same as 5 modulo 7. u2 is equal to, okay, 91 inverse, which is same thing as 3 inverse, same thing as 4 mod 11, and u3 is equal to 77 inverse is same thing as 12 inverse, same thing as 12 mod 13. So the simultaneous solution, if you remember, once you have ui's, so now we know ui, we know ni, we know ai, so I can compute x by this formula. So x will be u1 n1 a1 plus u2 n2 a2 plus u3 n3 a3, and this turns out to be 6515, which is nothing but 509. This is your m, right? So this is a solution. Answer is 509.
सर A1 to A3 हमारे ये रिमाइंडर्स हैं मतलब हाँ 5
हाँ 5 4 12 राइट 5 so sorry 5 3 2
3
ये यहाँ A1 ये A1 है ये A2 है ये A3 है राइट
सर एनआई तो हमने उससे निकाल लिया होगा m/mi करके और फिर इन्वर्स कर दिया उसका क्योंकि ui ni
करेक्ट करेक्ट तो इफ यू लुक एट द सोल्यूशन यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया स्मॉल m निकाला ni निकाला विच इज m डिवाइडेड बाई mi तो वो पर्टिकुलर mi यू नो जो भी i है ना उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग mi को प्रोडक्ट में से हटा दिया राइट और फिर ui का इन्वर्स निकाल लिया राइट आई मीन ni का इन्वर्स निकाल लिया वंस वी हैव ni इन्वर्स निकाल लिया मॉडलो mi राइट ओके and then x is nothing but this ui ni ai combination which we have done here okay now I think so I'm going to use this Chinese remainder theorem as an application at a couple of places but now so you should know this procedure now I'm going to mention something really very interesting known as polynomial congruences actually. Probably this stuff may be new to you. I'm not sure. You might have not seen this. Have you heard of Hensel uplifting?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is something very nice topic. Hensel uplifting. So normally what happens, Hensel uplifting is used for, so if there is a polynomial given at some modular ring, I can find another polynomial whose roots are basically we can uplift the roots basically. So let me show you actually what does that mean. So essentially, polynomial congruences means we want to solve the equations of the form that f of x is congruent to 0 mod m. Okay, where m is a some natural number, right? And coefficients of the polynomial belongs to zm, integer modulo m. Okay. So what we do actually here, m is basically a natural number. So by fundamental theorem of arithmetic, m can be written as p1 raised to power e1, p2 raised to power e2, dot 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 pr raised to power er, right? Where ei's are again natural numbers and pi's are pairwise distinct primes, Okay. So m is this, right? So if we know the roots of fx modulo pi raised to power ei for each I. For every I, if I know this, fx के रूट्स मॉडलो पी आई रेज फॉर ई आई तो जो m का प्रोडक्ट है फैक्टराइजेशन है इसमें हर एक i के जो फैक्टर है उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग अगर आपको रूट मालूम है सो वी कैन कंबाइन देम टू ऑब्टेन रूट्स ऑफ fx modulo m using Chinese remainder theorem. Okay. So basically, so consider fx. So rather than suffix, I'm just writing in general. So suppose fx is congruent to 0 mod p raised to power e. P is a prime, e is a positive number. Consider this equation, right? So basically, it is sufficient for us to focus on this, right? Now, what Hansel lifting does? Hansel lifting finds the solution of fx congruent to 0 mod p raised to power epsilon plus 1 from the solution of fx congruent to 0 mod p raised to power epsilon. तो हमको अगर इस इक्वेशन के सोल्यूशन पता है तो हम इस इक्वेशन के सोल्यूशन निकाल सकते हैं. दैट इज व्हाट एंड द प्रोसीजर इज नोन एज हैंसल लिफ्टिंग, राइट? अगर कोई पॉलिनोमियल दिया हुआ है उसके रूट्स हमको मालूम है मॉडलो पी रेज्ड पावर एप्सिलॉन, पी इज ए प्राइम, एप्सिलॉन इज ए पॉजिटिव नंबर, then I can find solution of the polynomial modulo p raised to power epsilon plus 1. Okay, and so this is what I am going to describe it to you. Okay, so let me show you the procedure. Let xi be the root of fx congruent to 0 mod p raised to power epsilon. Okay, so xi is the root of this equation. So now all integers satisfying the congruence modulo p raised to power epsilon are of the form xi plus k times p raised to power epsilon. Okay, is an integer. This is correct because xi is a root, right? So बाकी सारे जो है ना, all the integers satisfying this are epsilon plus some multiplication multiple of p raised to power epsilon, because if you divide by p raised to power epsilon, this portion will go 0 and you are left with xi, right? So all integers satisfying the congruence modulo p raised to power epsilon are of this form, right? So we investigate which of them remains the solution of fx congruent to 0 mod p raised to power epsilon plus 1. ओके, तो मॉडलो पी रेज़ पावर एप्सिलॉन के सारे रूट्स इस तरीके के फॉर्म के हैं, एक्स आई प्लस के टाइम्स पी रेज़ पावर एप्सिलॉन. अब हम देखना चाहेंगे किस के की वैल्यूज के लिए दे आर स्टिल द सॉल्यूशन ऑफ दिस इक्वेशन. ओके, so I can assume that suppose fx is of the form ad x raised to power d plus a d minus 1 x raised to power d minus 1 plus dot 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 a1 x plus a0. अगर पॉलिनोमियल इस तरीके का है, I can put x is equal to xi plus k times p raised to power epsilon. Okay, 1 minute. Hello, ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. Okay, so set x is equal to xi plus k times p raised to power epsilon. Okay, now if you substitute this here, so we are going to get f of xi plus k times p raised to power epsilon is equal to, now you see when I substitute x, it will be f of xi, right? Because when we set, actually I can collect the powers of xi raised to power d, xi raised to power d minus 1, a1 times xi plus a naught, so that will be f of xi plus k times p raised to power epsilon times f dash of xi. It turns out that this is the value plus p square epsilon times alpha, where alpha is some polynomial. Okay, so I think before proceeding further, do you have any question in understanding this portion? Do you understand what I have written here? Right?
Ye- Yes, sir.
You understand, right? It's very straightforward. I have just substituted the value, right? And
Yes.
then collected the terms, So f of xi will come because xi is substituted here, so whole polynomial will come outside, right? And then I can, I can put, so basically in place of x will be xi plus k times p raised to epsilon raised to power d. So I can expand that portion, right? I can expand similarly power d minus 1 and so on and collect rest of things. So the first term that will come is f dash of xi, okay? And then this portion is common plus p raised to power 2 epsilon plus some polynomial which I don't worry about it, okay? This is something which I don't worry. Alpha is some polynomial. Now, since xi is greater than, since epsilon is greater than or equal to 1, this implies that 2 epsilon will be greater than or equal to epsilon plus 1. Therefore, when we do modulo p raised to power epsilon plus 1, पूरे इक्वेशन का अगर हम रिड्यूस करें मॉडलो पी रेज़ टू epsilon plus 1, so this equation reduces to f of xi plus k times p raised to power epsilon is same thing as f of xi plus k times p raised to power epsilon times f dash of xi modulo p raised to power epsilon plus 1, right? ये पोर्शन जीरो हो जाएगा, okay? So we need to find you know k for which f of xi plus k times p raised to power epsilon is 0 mod p raised to power epsilon plus 1. k की किस वैल्यू के लिए मॉडलो p raised to power epsilon plus 1 के लिए वैल्यू 0 है? So I can substitute. So this implies that k times p raised to power epsilon times f dash of xi is same thing as minus f of xi modulo p raised to power epsilon plus 1. Now, since fxi is congruent to 0 mod p raised to power psi, right? P raised to power epsilon, because fx has root, xi is a root of this equation, right? So from here, since xi is a root of this equation, so f of xi is congruent to 0 mod p raised to power epsilon, right? So hence here, since fxi is congruent to 0 mod p raised to power epsilon, this implies that p raised to power epsilon divides f of xi, right? This implies that f dash of xi times k is, I can write down, this quantity will be an integer f of xi divided by p raised to power epsilon, because this will be integer modulo p, okay? This implies that, so this is an important result actually. This implies that k is 0, 1 or p depending upon values of f dash of xi and f of xi डिवाइडेड बाई पी रेज पावर एप्सिलॉन। इसकी और इसकी वैल्यू पे डिपेंड करेगा k की क्या वैल्यू होगी, ठीक है। सो लेट अस नाउ डू ए example so that it is clear. I hope you understood the procedure, right? हम क्या करना चाह रहे थे, हमको दिया हुआ था इक्वेशन which is congruent to 0 mod p raised to power epsilon. From this equation we wanted to find solutions. So solution अगर इसके दिए हुए हैं, हमको solution find out करने हैं इक्वेशन के f of x congruent to 0 mod p raised to power epsilon plus 1. t की पावर एक बढ़ जाए तो उसके सोल्यूशन कैसे निकालें p raised to power epsilon वाले सोल्यूशन से. So that's what we wanted to do. उसके लिए हमने अब हमको फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा k, और k के हिसाब से I can see that the solutions will be, you know, epsilon plus k times this quantity, epsilon plus k times p raised for epsilon, right? So from this I can find out the solution. So let us see an example. Okay, so we have to solve the equation 2x cube minus 7x square plus 189 congruent to 0 mod 675. Okay, so that means fx is nothing but 2x cube minus 7x square plus 189, and f dash of x I can compute will be 6x square minus 14x. Okay, now m can be written as, this is our m, can be written as 3 cube into 5 square. Okay, so now what to do, I need to solve. So solution of fx congruent to 0 mod 3, इसमें 3 क्यूब का सोल्यूशन चाहिए हमको, तो हम पहले 3 का सोल्यूशन निकालेंगे, राइट, फिर 5 का सोल्यूशन निकालेंगे, उससे 5 स्क्वायर का सोल्यूशन निकालेंगे यूजिंग हेंसल अपलिफ्ट, 3 का निकालेंगे और उससे 3 क्यूब का निकालेंगे यूजिंग हेंसल अपलिफ्ट, देन अप्लाइंग चाइनीज रिमाइंडर थ्योरम पूरा सोल्यूशन निकालेंगे. Now, so you know, I can substitute the initial values, right? F of 0 turns out to be 189, which is 0 mod 3, right? Next, I can place x is equal to 1. It is 2 minus 7 plus 189, turns out to be 1 mod 3. And f of 2 is equal to 16 minus 28 plus 189, turns out to be 0 mod 3. So हमने खाली x की वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दी, तो 0 is a solution, this is a solution. So x equal to 0, and so roots are 0 and 2. Any question at this point? Any question?
No, sir.
So okay, it's clear, right? So हमने fx लिया और पहले मॉडलो 3 रूट्स निकाले, तो रूट्स आर 0 and 2. ठीक है, अब हम इन रूट्स को अपलिफ्ट करने की कोशिश करेंगे, राइट. पहले 0 को अपलिफ्ट करते हैं, राइट. लेट अस अपलिफ्ट 0. अपलिफ्ट करके हम 3 स्क्वायर, मॉडलो 3 स्क्वायर पे रूट्स निकालेंगे. So we know that, so solution of, now I want solution of fx modulo 0, fx is congruent to 0 mod 3 square. So first lift x equal to 0 mod 3. So xi is 0, right? पहले 0 को लिफ्ट करेंगे. सो विल गो बैक एंड पुट लुक एट दिस इक्वेशन. xi इज इक्वल टू 0 डाल देंगे और k की वैल्यू निकालने की कोशिश करेंगे, राइट. Epsilon also we know what is the epsilon. Epsilon is 2 here now. So we have f of 0 divided by 3 is equal to 189 divided by 3 is equal to 63. F dash of 0 is equal to 0. So therefore equation f dash of 0 divided by k, sorry, I'm sorry, f dash of 0 times k is equal to minus f of 0 divided by 3 mod 3. P is equal to 3 here, right? This is what is the equation if you look at here, right? Now this is satisfied for k is equal to 0, 1, 2. No matter what value of k you take, because f0, f dash of 0 is 0, right? So we can take any value, right? This will be satisfied, right? So therefore lifted roots are epsilon plus k times p raised for epsilon. If you remember, तो p की वैल्यू यहाँ पे 3 है, xi की वैल्यू 0 है, epsilon is equal to 1 है, roots are 0, 3, 6 mod 9. तो 0 रूट लिया हमने और उसको लिफ्ट करके हमको ये 3 रूट मिले mod 9 पे, 3 स्क्वायर पे, राइट. नाउ फॉर लिफ्टिंग root x is equal to 2 mod 3. So remember there were two roots here. Root say 0, 0 और 2. 0 को हमने अपलिफ्ट किया तो हमको रूट मिले 0, 3, 6 मॉडलो 9 और 2 का आपको आप अपलिफ्ट करेंगे एंड देन वी विल चेक व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू गेट. ओके. So for lifting the root x equal to 2 mod 3, actually we will be having, so f2 divided by 3 is equal to 177 divided by 3 is equal to 59. F dash of 2 is equal to 24 minus 28 is equal to minus 4. Okay. So I am just doing all the calculations. Therefore, f dash of 2 times k is equal to minus f2 divided by 3 mod 3. इस इक्वेशन में हम जब डालेंगे वैल्यूज so it will yield minus 4k is same thing as minus 59 mod 3, right? Which has a unique solution. I can solve it. K is equal to 2 mod 3. It's a unique solution. Therefore, the lifted root, K की एक ही वैल्यू आई है यहाँ पे, lifted root will be 2 plus 2 into 3, which is 8, you know. So therefore, so there were initially there were two roots, 0 and 2. 0 lifted to 0, 3 and 6 and 2 lifted to 8. Therefore, all the roots of fx congruent to 0 mod 3 square 9 are 0, 3, 6, 8. Okay. So I think okay, I think I will stop here because I have another meeting. Somehow there is some urgent meeting actually in the institute. But I would like to tell you one thing now that can you try to complete this example, and in the next class we will see how much you have done. Okay. सो व्हाट वी हैव डन, अभी हमको क्या करना है, हमने रूट निकाल लिए एफ एक्स कॉमन टू जीरो मॉड थ्री स्क्वायर 9 के निकाल लिए, अब हमको 3 क्यूब के निकालने हैं, तो हमको 0 को अपलिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा, 3 को अपलिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा, 6 को अपलिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा, 8 को अपलिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा यूजिंग दैट इक्वेशन, राइट, दिस इक्वेशन, ओके, दिस इक्वेशन, and then see what happens, okay, once we are able to uplift the roots. Okay, so I think if you have any question, please let me know. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so can you try to complete Komal this example?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes.
yeah, and then we will see if you are able to do it. Very good. We will save some time. Otherwise, I will complete the example. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have to do
Thank
the
you,
same
sir.
for 5 square also.
Yes, then we have to do the same thing for Pele. First, you have to find out for modulo 5, which you can just plug in the values and check 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, in
Yes.
FX. And then from there, you find modulo F5 square by uplifting. So once you are able to find for 5 square, because M was what? Product of, right, if you see here, 3 cube and 5 square. 3 cube के रूट्स निकाल लिए सारे, 5 स्क्वायर के रूट्स निकाल लिए, फिर चाइनीज रिमाइंडर थ्योरम लगाएंगे, right?
Yes.
Yes,
which
sir.
we saw just now, right? And then we find out the actual things. थोड़ा सा lengthy है, but it's not very difficult. Things are very straightforward. We need to remember only this equation, and that's all. Okay. So just try to do it, and that way it will be good that you also have some practice. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry for this, because there is some institute visit, some officials are visiting in the institute, so I have to go there. Actually, they wanted me to cancel the class, but anyway, we have not had class last week also, so I wanted to have the class anyway. Okay, so let us meet on Friday then. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.